Today we are going to take a look at how living in Japan can change you. I have been here for over a year now and have experienced both the good and the bad. So what kind of cultural phenomena and norms and values take part in this change? Let's find out, because in the next few minutes we are going to take a look into exactly that. But is all change good? We'll see. Hello and ikimashou. Let's start this video off with point 1, being a healthier diet. This is for most people one of the more noticeable changes, as since I've come here I have lost 22 kilos. And if you take a look at my first video, it is very apparent. But where do I have to thank this weight loss for? Well, there are actually multiple reasons. Reason 1, Kyushoku. And I hear you think, what's that? Well, let me explain. Kyushoku is Japanese for school lunch. You see, when I started teaching in Chikuba City, the first thing they asked me was if I would bring my own lunch or if I would join the Kyushoku program. Eager to experience new things, I decided to go for just that. However, what I didn't know at the time was how healthy and in low calories it was, as Kyushoku consists of a very well-balanced meal with rice, soup, meat, vegetables and a small dessert. And this meal is around 700 to 800 calories and will keep you full for a long period of time. Reason number 2, no more snack time at school, which means that break at 10 o'clock that we got in the Netherlands to eat a cookie wasn't there anymore. And lastly, reason number 3, as a result of Japan's view on health, being maintaining a well-balanced body as well as life, the obesity rate is only 4.5%, and this comes with the occasional fat shaming. When a student poked my belly, I was definitely surprised. It made me realize I had to change. But how? Well, let's find out in point number 2 on how I've changed. Becoming more adventurous. I think this happens by itself when you move from the Netherlands to Japan, whereas the Netherlands is flat and only has one climate. Japan's landscape offers beautiful mountains and endlessly long forests, with Japan consisting out of 70% forest, as situated in multiple climate zones. From Arctic in the north to almost tropical in the south, the adventures are endless, and whereas in the Netherlands I would spend most of my times in my room, I can easily say that nowadays I am often outside, exploring this country. But how have I changed in my relationship with other people? Point 3, becoming more aware of others. Ever since coming to Japan, I have been way more aware of my surroundings and how my actions affect people. Where in the West we adopted a more individual mentality, the Japanese did the complete opposite and adapted to a group's mentality, with this famous Japanese proverb being a prime example of that. The nail that sticks out gets hammered down. If you differ from what is seen as normal, people will definitely approach you differently too. And with Japanese people being overall more quiet, it is expected to act or be the same. For me, this is most apparent when you are commuting to either school or work, where in the Netherlands it can be an absolute shit show of noise around you. In Japan, even at the most busiest times, it's insanely quiet and you can just relax on your way to work. And I think this is mainly because of what we are going to discuss in point 4 that I've changed, that being patience. And although the Japanese are still way ahead of me, I feel like I have improved. This patience for me comes mostly from filling out forms for example, my bank account, visa, taxes, insurance, my number card, SIM card. Usually this would not pose for a problem, but since Japan likes to do everything still in paperwork, it can be an endless process. On top of that, it needs to be checked by multiple departments, so you can bet your existence on the fact that this is going to take a long time, really long time. However, I feel like I've come to accept the fact that things just take a bit longer here, except for waiting in line for food. This is something that I still don't do. Talking about things that I have improved on, but still can do better. Let's get on with point number 5. Taking enough with what you have. If I've noticed anything since coming here, is that people here in general take enough with less. Where I feel like in the West we are always chasing bigger, better, newer experiences or things, I found that the Japanese take much joy in the little things. Something I am personally slowly getting better at. This concept is called Ikigai. It's the idea of small celebrations and expressing gratitude for the things that you have in life. For myself recently, I have been expressing my gratitude silently for the growth of this channel. It is going slowly and steadily, but I couldn't be happier than I am now. Thank you guys for being so supportive and watching the videos. I really appreciate it. I should tell it more, but it's really true. I appreciate all of you. Thank you guys so much. With that being said, our next point is about clashing culture. Point number 6. Speaking my mind, or rather, not speaking my mind. When it comes to cultures, Japanese and Dutch sometimes couldn't be more different. One of those things is in how we talk, where the Dutch people are very known for their directness and speaking their mind. The Japanese are not. So when I came to Japan, I had to adjust fast. People in Japan who are older or have more experience are usually seen as the right person in the conversation or when there is a discussion. And this is mostly because of the Kohai Senpai culture, where the Senpai is the one with more experience and the Kohai is the one without or has a lack of experience. Those were the positive changes that I've made. But there are some changes that also affected me negatively. At least that's what I think. So what are those? Let's get into it now. With my first negative change, point number 1 being having no friends. Japan is a country well known for its friendliness and politeness. And for the most part, I would actually say that is true. But this is all mostly surface level. People will definitely help you find a way and greet you, but due to long working hours, they don't have that much time. So their social circle is very closed. Add a possible language barrier and you see where the problems come in. But I think that's not all. I would say people are usually more reserved in Japan. With a recent study showing 56.3% of the Japanese prefer to spend their time alone. As for me, it sometimes gets lonely, but it doesn't bother me too much. But I would say it would be nice to make some new friends. Let's get on with our last point of today. Something that surprised me when my parents visited. Point 2, being easily offended. When you have come to Japan and you speak some form of Japanese, you will soon feel like a prodigy. Whenever you open your mouth, you will be told Nihongo Juzu, which means wow, good Japanese. Within the most extreme cases, even being when you greet someone. Imagine saying hello and somebody praises you for your formidable English skills. This constant praising for the most mundane things and the Japanese inner desire to avoid conflicts at all costs, meaning that they won't tell you if you say something wrong, has made me definitely vulnerable to some criticism and made me easily offended as a result of that. And I realized this when my parents came and they had some comments on how I did things, and I felt easily offended, whereas in the Netherlands I would have never had that. And that is how I've changed since coming to Japan. Of course, I'm super curious if some of you guys have been to Japan and noticed any of these things. Also, if you have been living in Japan and you have felt similar, then definitely let me know in those comments. If you want to know and see more about Japan, then for this time I will definitely recommend you our latest trip to Lake Motosko, where we had a wonderful time, and I hope to see you guys in the next video. Thank you guys so much for watching. This was Danny Japani, and see you guys next time.